Friends, Dave Paulides, Canine Missing Project. That is the indubitable, superlative, fantastic Huck L. Berry. And yes, she is in rare form today, to say the least. We've been going through this fun. I say, okay, time to film, and she knows time to go in the room, and she just goes around crazy. Yes, a good girl. Yes, a good girl. Yes, a good girl. People don't understand Great Pyrenees unless you've had them. They're very stoic dogs until they start having fun, and it's very hard to understand them sometimes, but she's good. She's happy. All right. What are we here for today? Well, got a couple things for you. Got a fascinating story. And regrettably, I got to tell you a story about something near and dear to my heart. And you guys all know I talk about mental health all the time and kindness. Let me read you this story. Former Wisconsin football player Jack Pugh dead at 24 after quitting the sport. Former Wisconsin tight end Jack Pugh died recently, according to the program. This is as recently as the 28th of March. Pugh spent the 2021-2023 seasons with the program before retiring due to mental health concerns. Died Monday at 24 per multiple outlets, including the AP. The Wisconsin athletics family is deeply saddened to hear the passing of Pugh. Jack was a positive light and brought a genuine spirit to our football program. The football team posted to its X account. More than that, he cared about people and was loved by teammates and staff. Jack proudly earned his degree from the University of Wisconsin-Madison in 2025 and forever will be remembered and loved. Pugh, a Columbus, Ohio native, joined the Badgers in 2021 season as a 4-star recruit. He earned his way onto the team despite not playing football in his first 2 years at Hilliard Bradley High School due to his focus on basketball. Completely unheard of to go straight into a D1 sport like this and not play 4 years. My physical health, this is his statement, my physical health was not perfect, but my mental health was the reason I decided to hang it up. Over years of prolonged depression and substance abuse, I decided I deserved a better life and to finally find happiness. He posted at the time per the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. He stated, in no way was football the root of these problems, but everything in my life had distracted me for so long to the point I don't want to be alive. I didn't want to be alive for years. I never had prioritized my mental health all along, digging a deeper, darker hole. I want to thank the amazing coaches, teammates, and friends at the family at the Badgers. They did not say how he died. But let me tell you something. There's Jack. His family has to be crushed. He earned his degree, trying to make it through life. He didn't make it. Just because I've been around D1 sports a lot and players, the commitment to play is off the chart to get to that level. And not only that, you got to have perseverance, determination, and a huge amount of skill. Jack had that. He wouldn't have gotten there without it. Not to a program like Wisconsin. You know, probably one of the top 20 football programs in the nation. I'll keep banging this drum probably for the rest of my life. That if we as a society truly value people, predominantly young people now, we have to take a stake and say, you know what? We have to invest in ourselves. Stop investing in other countries. Start investing in our young people. We have a huge homeless problem. Those homeless people, large percentage of them, substance abuse and mental health issues. 100 years from now, historians will look back at this age of us and say, wow, seems like they invested in everything else but themselves. Didn't they care about the young people? How come they didn't really invest in trying to understand mental health itself? I'm embarrassed by it, folks. Really. And I'll say this again. You guys have been around for a while. You know, NAMI, N-A-M-I, the best organization I know of that charges nothing for their outstanding services. If you got a mental health issue, call them. They have online classes. I would encourage you to go to a class. Most people with mental health issues want to isolate. That's exactly the wrong thing to do. You can get help. There is help available. But you've got to go. Please, do it. And friends, there's 1,000 other families just like Jack's right now, questioning whether their son or daughter is going to be alive next week. I need you, the families of those kids, to go to NAMI. They will tell you what to expect, how to address it. They're a good organization. They'll bring people in to talk and explain this situation to you. It's really good. It'll help. All right. Thank you to one of you who sent this case in. I never would have heard about it. It's fascinating, super sad, and I think it's a 10x as far as a 411 case. The disappearance and the incident surrounding Katherine Korzilius. It's Katherine. Very cute girl. 6 years old, missing August 7th, 1996 at 4 p.m. Hey folks, 4 p.m. You've heard that from me 1,000 times. That surname, Korzilius, it's particularly linked to the Ransbach-Baumbach, a town in Germany. The cultural significance is that area is renowned for its ceramic production, which has significant historical prominence in that region. So yes, her last name has German all over it. So right away, I've given you 2 big points. German, 4 p.m. Her parents, Nancy and Paul, they met while Nancy was working at an airline ticket counter and Paul was managing rock bands. Paul now, in 96, super successful. He was the personal manager for John Bon Jovi. That's impressive. The personal residence was in Austin, Texas, at a place called Rob Roy on the Lake. It was a section 2 of the build-out. In 1997, homes in that area cost between $300,000 and $1 million. There were no sidewalks. Very upscale area. Quiet neighborhood. Her home was located on Box Elder Circle. I'll bring that up a few times. Box Elder Circle. Now here's an overview of Austin. That is where the home is. This right here, right next to the home, Colorado River. This up here on the far left, Lake Travis. This, her neighborhood, was very nice. No problems, very quiet. Now, just before August 7th, the family had just returned home from Turkey on a cruise. And the biggest thing that happened on that is Katherine lost one of her front teeth. Once the family got home, Paul left. He had to go to his New York City offices. And on August 7th, that's where he was. Number 3. Father out of town. How many times have I told you this? And August 7th, the day of the incident, was Paul's birthday. For some reason, I just think that's odd. Well, Nancy, the mom, Katherine, and her 9-year-old brother, Chris, were out for the majority of the day running errands, and the family was picking out a birthday present for Paul. Sounds like a cool family day, out, normal. At about 4 p.m., they got back from running their errands, and they do what every family does. That neighborhood that they live in had a central mailbox area where everyone's mail came to. So Nancy pulls up to the mailbox. And Katherine did what Katherine did every time. She said, "Mom, can I get the mail?" Katherine, "Please, Mom." "Sure, here's the key. Mom, I want to get the mail and walk it home, okay?" And Nancy said that was Katherine's way of getting a little show of trust and showing that she's grown up now. And she'd done this several times before, so she knew this route. It wasn't any big deal. So Nancy says, "Sure, you can do that." Gives her the key. And Chris and her get back in the truck, or get back in the vehicle, and start to drive away. Katherine gets the mail out of the mailbox and starts to walk home. Now, pay attention to this. Nancy's statement is, it's a short walk for Katherine, probably less than a quarter mile. When Chris and I got home, we unloaded the car and started putting packages away. Chris started to wander the home and said he couldn't find his sister. Nancy told him to go out to the road and find her. Everything was normal to me. A short time later, Chris comes back into the home. He's crying. And he says, "She's not out there, Mom." So Nancy went next door to one of their best friend neighbors, and someone who had girls the same age as Katherine figured she went there. She wasn't there. A few minutes later, Chris and Nancy found Katherine laying in the road in their neighborhood. This is important, folks, because these facts are heavy. And they're not easy. So Katherine was located 6 houses away at the closest point of the circle. They live on a circle. In the closest part of the circle to the Colorado River. And And they find her at 4:15 p.m. She was face down in the roadway and unconscious. Nancy said that her arms were at her side, her hair was straight down, she was wearing her sandals, and her toes were pointed straight. So imagine, kind of arms down at her side, she's laying face down and her hair is straight down her back. That is odd. I'm not sure how you can do that. This was Nancy's statement. I could tell she was unconscious, but she was breathing. And I knew it was too hot to leave her on the pavement. So stop there for a second. It was a blistering hot day in Austin. Back to the statement. She says, I know it's never a good idea to move somebody if you don't know what the injuries are. But I just couldn't leave her there. Having driven to the ER before, knowing the way very well, I felt confident I was able to drive the drive. That's what she said. Let's stop there. Your 6-year-old, you come upon her laying on a road, unconscious, but breathing. You can't wake her up. Am I going to wait for an ambulance? Heck no. The kid's going to go in the car, I'll lay her on the back seat, and I will drive like a madman to that hospital. Because it's going to be at least 5 minutes before the ambulance even gets there. Not a chance I'm waiting. She did the right thing. She drove 25 minutes to Seton Medical Center near downtown Austin. Nancy stated that she went up into the emergency room. The doctors immediately put her on a ventilator. When somebody's unconscious, that's probably what you need to do to ensure that they keep breathing. And that's what she said. They wanted to make sure she was keep breathing. They took her down for a CAT scan, and they found a fractured skull. She was brain dead. Nancy said it wasn't a matter of being in a coma or being unconscious. Her brain had died. After she got to the hospital and the doctors started working on her, she called Paul in New York. She said, you need to get here right away. Katherine's seriously hurt. And Paul jumped the first flight he could get on a charter to Austin. He arrived at about 12:30 a.m. the next morning. Katherine was declared deceased an hour before Paul arrived. It's horrible. Horrible. Family made a decision. They would donate her organs. I think that's brilliant. She can live in somebody else's body. It's brilliant. As this is all going on, police arrive. They're trying to determine what happened. And right away, everyone starts to theorize that it must have been a motor vehicle accident. She was crossing the road and she was hit by a car, and that's what happened. That quickly got flushed right down the toilet. Because in the emergency room, the doctors saw that she had some scuffs and abrasions of somebody who was falling. And she didn't have any other broken bones other than a fractured skull. And somebody small like that getting hit by a car, there's going to be bones broken. Legs, chest, ribs, arms. But there were none. So the police kept investigating. The body went to the medical examiner's office. Medical examiner Bovardo from Travis County, listen to this carefully. This was not an injury caused by a hit and run accident. There were no broken bones. He said that the injuries Katherine sustained could have been the result of either jumping from a moving vehicle, being thrown from a moving vehicle, or falling from a moving vehicle. Could have been. The type of injuries that we expect in these circumstances would have been the same. So he's resting his laurels on falling, jumping from a moving vehicle. Here's the oddity. She's located well past her home in an area that she wouldn't have been in normally because she would have walked past her home. She died 7 hours after being found. Katherine knew this route very well and would not have been lost. A few days after the incident, the police start to take this seriously. And they put canines into the area coming from the mailboxes that Katherine would have normally walked through a vacant lot en route to her home. The canines track her from where she's dropped off by her mom at the mailbox to the area in the middle of the lot, and suddenly they lose the scent. Come on. And they can't pick up another scent. Homeowners Association posted a $5,000 reward. Now let me explain this, because I had to graph it out to completely get it. Now this is the circle that I was telling you about, Box Elder Circle, where she lives. Here's the mailboxes. So her mom drops her off here, and then her mom and Chris take this route to the house. She, and her mom did this purposely just so she would only have to walk a short distance, walks directly to her house right here. Somewhere between here and here, one of these lots was empty at the time. They're not now. The dog tracked her through there and lost the scent. She's found in the closest place to the Colorado River. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, drop to the mailbox. Then Chris and Nancy drive this route in this direction around to the house. She gets the mail, should be home in 5 to 10 minutes, isn't. They start looking for her and find her here. Capiche? Now, this is the same map I showed you earlier. This is where they lived. This is the hospital. That is the Colorado River. It's the route that Nancy drove to get her to the hospital. Police aren't sure what they got. The Korziliuses stated several months after the incident that they were unhappy with the lack of communication coming from police. Let me explain that. There's a lack of communication because they don't have anything. They don't know what to do. And what are they going to do? Communicate with the family every week and say, hey, we've done nothing, we have nothing, we know nothing. Well, in November 96, the family hires a private investigations firm to do research on the case. One of the partners in the firm is a captain with the was a captain with the Austin Police Department. Now, let me stop there. If you ever have to hire a private investigator, you do not want to hire somebody that was a lieutenant, a captain, assistant chief for their career. Why? Why? Because they're not doing the investigations. They're supervising the other investigators. They aren't in the field. They aren't boots on the ground. They aren't doing forensics. That's not who you want. You want somebody that had been in the dirt, grunt, investigating, interviewing. That's who you want. Now, the other partner in the firm is a woman. And she said some pretty smart things. Her name was Barbara O'Brien. She stated that by hiring her firm 3 months after the incident, it made it harder on them to track down delivery drivers, gardeners, workers, etc. That makes sense. She also said that the day that Katherine disappeared was a blistering hot summer day. And in her opinion, there's no way a young girl is going to grab the outside of a car because it would be blistering hot. And no way did she fall from a car. That was her opinion. And you know what? I agree with her. Now, Nancy and Paul had lived in this neighborhood since 1989 and knew just about everybody in it. Nancy made an absolutely fascinating comment about the day that Katherine disappeared. Pay attention. She said that the entire area was unusually quiet. Wow. 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 That's a biggie, folks, right there. A neighbor was interviewed a year after the incident and stated that the neighborhood had changed. The association planted a tree and put a plaque in Katherine's name. Nancy and Paul went to the elementary school that Katherine was going to enter the first grade a week later, and they paid for a remodeling of the recreation room. Now pay attention. The Korziliuses believe Katherine was abducted, then dumped. Their words, not mine. Nancy said her hair was smoothed out, her shirt was straightened, her toes were pointed straight with her sandals on. I know someone moved her, and I know someone laid her there for me to find. I agree. I agree. But it's not what you think. Oh no, it's not what you think. What caused her death is still a mystery. And the police haven't said what. How many times in 411 cases have I told you that it's like that body was put there to be found? Right? Oh yeah. Now let's get to the important facts that really lay this out for us. Korzilius, last name is German. Fact. The father, Paul, was out of town the day it happened. Fact. It was his birthday. Fact. Nancy, it was an unusually very quiet day in the neighborhood. I couldn't make this up, folks. I can't make it up. Katherine had a fractured skull from some type of fall. Fact. Katherine was found past her house. Closest location to the Colorado River. There's no witnesses. Now follow me on this. You're a bad guy. Well, first of all, she wasn't sexually assaulted. But let's say you're a really bad guy and you have plans to abduct her, you kill her. Are you going to stop in the middle of her street where she lives and lay her out in the middle of the street all perfect? Are you insane? Nobody's going to do that. You're going to throw her. I would have guessed she would have thrown her in the Colorado River or in that empty lot that they were talking about. Nobody is going to put her in the middle of the road, six houses down from where she lived. No, that dog don't hunt. I'm sorry. So again, here's where she lived. Here's where she's found. 6 homes. There's homes all over here. Nobody saw anything. It's 4:15. People are coming home from work. The chances of being seen preparing a body in the middle of the street are insanely high. Yet nobody saw anything. Nobody saw anything. And nobody has said exactly what I just stated. I don't know why the investigator didn't say it. Canines. They lost the scent. How many times in 411 cases has this happened? Come on. You guys are smart. It's off the chart. Brother couldn't find her. Brother went out to the street, looked. She wasn't there. No cars were heard going up and down the street. Where was she when Chris went out to look for her? And then how did she magically appear? Remember, I've told you before, most people that are found on these 411 cases face down. She's found face down on blazing asphalt. You know, I'm starting to get frustrated a little bit because and I'm sure you are too, the people that have been with me during this entire journey, you could see this plain as day of what's happening. The newer people are going, what's Dave talking about? He doesn't make any sense, but that's fine. But you people out there that have been with me, you know what I'm talking about. It gets me frustrated that police don't have a more open mind. But you got to understand their mentality. Policemen, the one thing they fear the most is getting ridiculed by peers and supervisors. So if they start talking crazy stuff in the mind of those people, then they'll be put down and embarrassed. Nobody likes that, especially in police work. So to even possibly bring up something outside the box, they'll never do it. And they would have more safety in numbers by ridiculing me than by looking at themselves in a mirror and saying, yeah, there's something else here happening. Maybe we ought to study what Paulides has done. Maybe read a few of his books. Maybe understand the path that he's walked and the number of cases he's exposed that show what is really happening here. I appreciate you guys being here. Remember, kindness is key. National Park, missing 411. Posters, right there. Hats and sweatshirts are still on for sale at our store, missing411.com. Check it out. All the books are there. You know, Catherine, I hope you rest in peace. And Paul and Nancy and Chris, we as a group need to pray for those 3 because they lost a key element in their family. It'll never be the same. And lastly, I don't want to say this much because I think it's all bull. Some groups have gone out and tried to attack Nancy. Oh, she did something to her daughter. Oh, no, she didn't. If she did, Chris would have said something. He was with her the whole time. 9-year-old boy would have seen it. Nancy did nothing to her daughter. And the people that are implying that are horrendous individuals. Everything that she did is exactly what I would have done. Please share this video. Be safe. Be kind. Paulides out.